What's going on, guys? David back again. I'm making this video for the people who requested a Ghostrick Master Duel deck list. I got my Dr. Pepper right here. For the Xyz Cup that's happening on Master Duel at this current moment. I just want to go ahead and let you guys know that this deck profile isn't, in my opinion, as good as my Master Duel, or not my Master Duel, but my YGO deck, and my TCG Ghostrick deck. Just because you're limited, you don't have the Lord of Heavenly Prisons, you don't have the Soul and Luna, you don't have Ghostrick Siren, Shot, and Festival, which obviously doesn't really matter in this sense because you don't need, you can't use Festival in the Cup. So this will be a strictly Xyz version, strictly Master Duel version, but this Soul one will be more leaning towards just the Xyz Cup. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Right now we're using 2 Effect Veiler. I've been trying this out even in the TCG version. Just a generic, hand trap. Nothing crazy. I don't like hand traps. I don't like running hand traps. That's why I never have hand traps in my deck profiles. But we have these 2. I run the Veiler just because it's a really good generic negate. Also, it's a level 1, so if you ever did need to potentially summon it and then Xyz summon with like your with your Spectre, or not your Spectre, your Lantern or your Spectre and your Jack Frost, you can go into Dullahan. So that's kind of my thought process on it. So now we're gonna go into the Ghostricks. We run 2 Lantern. Obviously just a really good hand trap during the battle phase, like as we mentioned. We still only run 1 Spectre. I don't know. You could potentially maybe run 2 of these if just because the deck's a little bit slower without the newer cards for the deck. But I still only run the 1. In this version, though, I run 3 Jack Frost in this version, opposed to the 1 Jack Frost that I run in the other deck. I run 3 in this version because he can hit anything. Anything is live, since there are no links in this cup. So any Xyz monster that attacks is going to go face down. So I think 3 Jack Frost is ideal, or even if they haven't Xyz summoned yet and they attack you with just material that they might use for an Xyz, it'll put them down and then you special summon Jack Frost, and then you're 1 monster away from Xyz summoning yourself. That's why I think Lantern and Jack Frost are pretty viable. They're good in the deck because they can special summon, negate attacks, put your opponent's monster face down, and set up Xyz plays for when they end their turn. We run 1 Neko Musume. You don't have to run this card. You could probably choose Mummy. Mummy would probably be a better option just to help you get your rank 3 Xyz plays out. But I just enjoy her Floodgate ability when it's possible. It's a little bit harder in this deck because you don't have Shot, and I feel like Shot makes her easy to use. So feel free to switch her out for like a Mummy. Or if you want to, or if you don't want to just play just the purest Ghostrick stuff like I always do, you could even always just throw in like some level 3 extenders, like some I don't know off the top of my head, level 3 like Tour Guide, or you could use like some Dangers. Dangers might be pretty good to help you draw too as well. You do that. Moving on though, we still use 3 Ghost. Excuse me. We still use 3 Ghostrick Doll because the main priority of the deck, in my opinion, is still to flip up, flip down. Just like in the TCG version, granted we don't have as many cards, this card is still going to be very good to use in my opinion, especially if you want to completely lock your opponent, especially when paired with Summon Limit and Floodgate Trap Hole. We only run 2 Fairy. I feel like 3 might be a little much because drawing our turn 1, especially in this version, isn't as good because you have nothing to recover in the grave. So I prefer the doll. Morphing Jar 2 is a, you don't have to use this card. I always use it in Ghostricks just because I have PTSD from links and I need removal. But also he could just also remove your opponent's Xyz. I mean, if they have like a couple big Xyz out, we don't want to deal with those Xyz. So you could just set him, flip him with Morphing Jar 2. Or not more, you could flip the Morphing Jar 2 with the Scare, or just manually flip him, and then you can do that. And that'll get rid of all your Xyz. We run the 3 Jiangishi. You should probably run 2. I run 1, because I'm just not, how I play Ghostricks, I'm never comfortable going into Alucard. I just have never been because I'm not fond of a lot of the rank 3s. But if you use Mummy and you use maybe you have two Jingashi, you might be able to you might go into some pretty good Alucard plays. Especially if you're going to use like extenders with dangers. Granted, this is my version. I've only played it a couple times. It might change. But I wanted to get a version out there for you guys since the cup is only a couple days long. Moving on. We have Lava Golem. Lava Golem... Actually, I lied. Okay, we're gonna run a Godarla, just a random Kaiju. We're gonna run one random Kaiju over Lava Golem because I feel like in this format they're not getting out as many links. Like they're not getting out as many like monsters as like if it was a link format, right? Like they're it might take them a couple turns to get like 2 to 3 Xyz monsters on the board, but they're only ever gonna have the one for the most part, or 2. But I feel like we're gonna go with him instead, because he's a special summon over the Lava Golem, so then we can still set a Ghostrick. Same reason we're not running 3 Needle Sealing in this version, because when I did try it, I felt that it took so long to get 4 monsters on the board, and sometimes it never happened because when they summon 1/2, it joins into 1 when they Xyz. So Needle Sealing felt kind of dead, so I took it out. Moving forward, we got a 1 Raigeki, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, just because I feel like people are going to be trying to run a lot of back row. You might see a lot of Dimensional Prisons in this cup, to stop you from Xyz summoning and negating an Xyz monster. So we'll run the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster and the 1 Raigeki for destruction. We run 1 Monster Reborn because we don't have Ghostrick Shot, so we can't, go into any extending plays without Shot. So we just run the 1 Monster Reborn. You can run Monster Reborn and Shallow Grave if you'd like. Shallow Grave could be pretty good because that's at 3. Shallow Grave says you can basically Monster Reborn, but you and your opponent basically special summon monsters from the grave, face down defense. That could be pretty good. I just haven't really got to test it, kind of doing this kind of last minute, not really last minute. But I've played this a couple times and I've won some games. We use 2 Mansion. And it's slower to get to things now, so we want to make sure we at least draw this card. It could also protect you, and it protects your monsters from destruction, so you could have them face down defense, let your opponent attack over you, flip them up on your turn, and then Xyz summon. We run the 1 Parade, which basically what this card says is every time your opponent attacks you directly, which you can as long as your monsters are face down defense, you can add a Ghostrick card from your deck to your hand. Which is cool about this though is because they declare an attack. That's all they have to do is declare. So if they declare an attack, you activate Lantern in your hand, special summon Lantern, negate the attack, you still get to search off the Parade, which is cool. The music went really well with that. So, and then we're running 2 Book of Moon and 2 Book of Eclipse since we don't have Soul and Luna. These are just really just to stop your opponent from Xyzing, because this could really honestly end their turn. To be honest. We run 2 Ceasefire because it's still a flip up card that can flip up our Ghostricks, so let them activate. Same thing with 3 Scare. And then we run 1 Ghostrick Break. The Ghostrick Break is really funny. I played it in a game and it actually saved my life. I actually Lava Golemed my opponent and he kept attacking me with a Lava Golem because that's all he had. And he kept losing 1,000 life points because of Lava Golem. But then he attacked 1 Ghostrick monster and I activated Ghostrick Break and then he killed it, and then I got to bring back 2 more, and then I Xyz summoned. It was like, damn. This card could be pretty good in the Xyz Cup. It's a little slow, and it kind of stinks if you draw it turn 1 because it requires you to have 2 Ghostricks in the grave. But, I don't know, I feel like if you're only running 1, you won't draw it in your first hand so much. So, I don't know, it could be a pretty cool card, especially going into your Xyz plays. We run Floodgate Trap Hole because Master Duel format only has best of 1. So we just kind of pray. I'm playing cards that I think that I can use going first and second. Obviously, Floodgate Trap Hole and Summon Limit are great going first, but also they're good in this deck going second because if you flip your opponent's monsters face down, they have to, and when they flip those up, that counts as part of the Summon Limit. So it's going to be very, very hard for them to Xyz summon. Do you understand what I'm saying? And Floodgate Trap Hole is live as well whenever their monsters are face down and they flip face up. You can trigger Floodgate Trap Hole and permanently put that monster down. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like, if your opponent already has really good monsters out and you drew Floodgate Trap Hole later in the game, you can set the Floodgate Trap Hole, flip your opponent's monster face down with your Ghostricks, and then when he flips it back up for whatever reason, Floodgate Trap Hole that shit. Put that shit down. We run one Ghostrick go around because, like I said, we don't have as many cards to flip stuff up as much. It's not bad. It only does it on one monster, and it has to be in the battle phase. But it's helped a little bit sometimes, especially in the cup. And then Ghostrick Knight is obvious. You know, it's your control card. Make sure he can't flip up his face down. I'm going into the extra deck. I only have 8 cards because I don't know. I haven't really had time to look at other cards that aren't Ghostricks to throw in here, and there probably are some. Feel free to look and feel free to leave any ideas in the comments down below. We can kind of work together on this, you know, as fellow Ghostrick players. But we run the $2 Han, the 1 So Cute boss, the 1 Alucard, the Downward Magician, obviously for the Zeus play, and then 2 Ghostrick Angels. So obviously the main point of the deck still is to control. But obviously if we need to as well, we can go into Zeus. You know. But that's going to be it for the deck profile for the Xyz Cup on Master Duel. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And honestly, guys, thank you so much for all the love on the previous Ghostrick deck profile. That's the most views I've ever gotten on a video in such a short amount of time, ever. And that's mind-blowing, and I think it's so cool that you guys took the time to just check out that video, whether you disliked it or not. I really appreciate it, and I'm pretty proud of that deck profile. I hope you guys continue to watch and give me ideas and ask me questions or just talk to me. I don't know. I just enjoy talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! With people. I think it's a lot of fun. Well, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below about the deck profile. What are you guys running in the Xyz Cup? And if you guys are running Ghostricks, what are you doing? Any ideas as well? I'm open to ears. You know, I'm curious what everybody else is doing. Thank God they banned the Eldritch, right? But yeah, this is gonna be it for me. Probably gonna go play some games. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and enjoy your weekend. And have a good one. See you guys.